Hello, everyone. This is a narrative pitch for an animated series called Dice Breakers that will be directed by myself, Joelle Beltran, and produced by Natalie Shu. Where to begin? Dice Breakers is an animated television series about a group of high school friends, including Dwight, Sabrina, Jasmine, Daniel, and Eric, who spend their summer vacation playing their favorite tabletop game. Each night, the group meets up to play, and it feels like their story comes to life until one day Daniel jokingly rolls a 1, causing his sleep ability to put his party friends to sleep. Upon waking, they find themselves in a new mysterious world as well as new bodies. They have become their made up characters. Through each adventure, the group is faced with hardships that test their camaraderie as well as their wits. They travel lands far and wide in search of glory and riches, but at the end of their journey, they face the ultimate foe, Dracul, the Lord of Death. I feel that the main selling points of this animated series is one, it's an animated series. It's like a breakaway from the mainstream things. Two, it has a mix of genres that include comedy, romance, drama, and action. And three, it's honestly just a breath of fresh air, especially to people that don't really know what tabletop games are, specifically Dungeons and Dragons. My answer to the question why, first of all, I want to entertain through the means of an animation. I also want to bring awareness to a hidden community. I also feel like a lot of animated shows nowadays aren't very prevalent or they don't really stand out. And finally, I just want to tell a unique story with universal messages as well as personal meanings for the individual. I feel that the hook for my animated series is the storytelling, the characters, and the delivery. The storytelling is going to encompass one episode equaling the equivalent of at least one weekend or one gaming session. The characters are based around stereotypical traits with polar opposites from their D&D characters, and the delivery conveys similar messages and themes you'd see in your typical TV or films. It's June 1st, 1998 in South Pasadena, California. A group of childhood friends are starting their first session of their new Dungeons & Dragons campaign. Eric begins speaking in a deep voice. Long ago, in another realm stood the majestic kingdom of Caelid, once the battlefield of gods and titans. Its land now harbors magic, wonder, and mystery. A beautiful view from above soft clouds with the sunrise can be seen with grassy fields below. This transitions to a view of a walled city with many buildings leading up to an enormous castle surrounded by mountains and a blue ocean. A bird flies into view before flying into the distance toward the city in the mountains and finally through a rich green forest. Eric continues, "It was a time of peace until a great evil arrived. The same land is now covered in bodies of the undead, as well as fallen soldiers and heroes with black skies and lightning above. A great group of heroes banded together, ready to face this evil. A group of heroes stands tall above a mountain, peering down towards a battlefield. It is the calm before the storm. The bird flies towards a group of heroes. The bird exclaims, 'Kids, the bus is here. You guys can continue your little game after school's over.' The heroes look at each other, then back at the bird, who transforms to Eric's mother as their fantasy transitions back to reality. The kids head to school and go about their day while talking about the things they plan to do once school ends. They talk about the possible adventures they will have, the challenges they will face, and the treasure they will claim. Most importantly, they are eager to hear about what or who has brought evil back to the kingdom of Caelid. Dwight, a 19-year-old jock, goes by Twitch the Rogue in-game. He is secretly a softie and steals from the rich to give to the poor. Sabrina, a 16-year-old nerd, in-game goes by Leonidas the Verdant. She has a big heart, but doesn't really understand human norms. Jasmine is an 18-year-old cheerleader that goes by Jane the Frostmage in-game. She's an intellectual and always has something on her mind. Daniel goes by Aldwin the tone-deaf bard in-game. He is tone-deaf, but he tries to keep the party's morale high with what music he can play as well as his witty humor. And finally, Eric, the 17-year-old misfit that goes by Ymir the Righteous. He is blunt, and his temper matches his stature. As for the antagonists, we have Dracul, the Lord of Death, and Lilith, his apprentice. My personnel is made up of myself, with 6+ years in the film industry, including psychological horror films, slice of life, and supernatural fiction films, as well as Natalie Shu, who has 4 years in producing animated feature films, docuseries, and also has a trade in budgeting. We have also reached out to Titmouse Incorporated. They have been producing animated films and shows since the early 2000s, and they are within our budget. Our production logistics are as follows. Pre-production will involve 4 weeks of scripting, 3 weeks of casting. Our production will include shooting for 15 days over a 2-month period, voiceover recording for 4 weeks, and animating over 10 weeks. Our post-production will include editing for up to 7 weeks. This will include wrapping up and pickups if needed. This leads us to a grand total of 32 weeks or 8 months. Our audience and distribution are as follows. Our primary audience will be teens and young adults within the ages of 18 and 35 years old, and the platforms we wish to release to are Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and Peacock. Natalie Shu is currently working with the team in order to publicize ads on the following websites and social media, including Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Last but not least, our budget summary. Our expected income includes grants, personal funds, and fundraising at a grand total of $2,228,000, with expected expenses including crew, cast, equipment, animation, music licenses, insurance, and other fees at a grand total of $2,023,000. With your help, as well as all those involved, I feel like this animated series could be big and even be one for the books. I have high hopes for this project and can't wait to bring it to you. Thank you for tuning in and have a good one.